Welcome back to the farm for another project. So right now I'm kind of hanging out with some puppies and hanging out with the baby goats, trying to give everybody lots of attention. I got another craft fair coming up this weekend, so we want to get a couple other things made, but it's hard to want to separate my time from all these animals. So let's head inside the shop and show you what we're going to be working on. Oh, buddy. Hey. Be right back. Hi, Luna. So here's Mama. Hi, big girl. Here's my good babies. And you can see the pups over here. We got 3 boys and 3 girls back there. Everybody's got their eyes open and being lively, and who's being a good mama, huh? You guys good mamas. Well, we gotta head into the shop. Let's go start building some stuff. Man, I sure love those livestock dogs. I couldn't imagine having a farm without them. But today what we're gonna be working on is we've got another craft fair coming up this weekend. And one thing I found at my first craft fair, pretty much everything that I sold was all stuff that you could use on a day-to-day basis, or people could use actually around their farm. It wasn't necessarily the cool custom carving. So let's head inside the shop and show you what we're gonna be building. So here's a pile of scrap lumber we're gonna be working with today. So we got some leftover pine, some cedar pickets, I got some alder in here, a couple strips of maple, then I've got all this other wood here. So this is some old barn wood, some 1x barn wood. This is some old rough cut 1.5 stuff. So what we're gonna make is we're gonna make a farm kind of country style coat hook. So I went down to the local antique store here and found some old metal hangers. These are all, I think they're actually cast iron, kind of cool looking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do kind of like a picture frame, and then inside that picture frame, we're gonna do something that has some kind of cool different angles, and then we're gonna stain these some different colors and finish them different ways and frame the whole thing out. And then in the top of it, once it's all done, I'm gonna use my CNC to engrave Home Sweet Home in it, so people have some shelves and some coat hooks and kind of give it this rustic look. So let's get this thing all framed out and built, and then we'll get it on the CNC machine. All right, so here's just gonna be kind of the basic layout. So we're gonna have this thicker 1-inch shelf right here. We'll put all the coat hooks down here, and I'm picking the wood that has the most character because all we're gonna do is just sand it and put a little bit of stain, and then we'll come back and sand it again to kind of give it that rustic look. And then up here on the top, I just built this kind of picture frame, and that's where we're gonna take all this other scrap stuff. We're gonna cut it down in random strips, and then we're gonna lay that down on the back side, and we're gonna do everything at 45s. It's gonna take a while, but I think overall it's gonna look really cool. Okay, now I just got a rough cut, so I still need to do some sanding, but I'm just trying to kind of test out my layout here. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with these ones in my center. Then I want some contrasting woods. So now we're going to go ahead and go with some pine. So the pine's going to go next. And then we're going to put some alder in here. Go back out to some cedar here. Go back out again with some pine here out towards the edge. And then for the last piece, I've got some more little alder end pieces here. So these will go on the end. Then I have this little shadow box, and I'm gonna kind of cut the final size here to make it all nice and tight, but that's kind of what I'm thinking the layout's gonna be. I kind of like that. Obviously I'm gonna throw some stain on some of those and still need to do some finish sanding, but all in all, I think that layout's gonna come out pretty good. I think I'm gonna go with it. So let's go ahead and get some sanding done. And I think I'm even going to leave the different levels because I really think that kind of brings out the color. So we're going to do a little bit of staining and to kind of make this look a little aged, and then we'll attach that to the top of the shelf. Let's get it done. Okay, so now I've finally gone through and fine tweaked and kind of got everything to fit in here, which was a chore since these aren't all perfectly square. They're all different sizes, so it took some time to actually get this all to fit, but I'm really happy how it came out. But I don't want to put any nails in this, so I want to use all glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 1/16 inch sheet of birch plywood that I have, and unfortunately I'm going to have to pull all these back out again, and then I'm going to actually finish nail this to the back side, so then that way I can just put a bunch of glue on here, and then I can, as I put these back in as a puzzle, I can put glue in between each joint and on the back side, and then I'll put a couple of sandbags on it to kind of weigh it down, and then that should be enough. That glue should be enough to hold it to this birch. And then what we'll do is once we get that done, Then we're gonna do a couple of guide screws through here, and we'll mount this to the shelf, and we'll get the hangers hung. So let's get this thing back out again for the third time and get this installed on the backing so we can try to get this thing finished up. All right, so let that sit for a while and kind of dry. So while that was drying, I went ahead and installed the shelf and this bottom bracket here. Now what we're gonna work on now is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get these installed. We're gonna figure out where we wanna put these little cleats for hanging up all the coats. We'll kind of get them all measured out, figure out where they're gonna mount, where everything's gonna look down here. And then I think what I'm also gonna do is once I get these all hung on here, I think I'm gonna cut some little tiny angles of supports to kind of go across here. It's just some little 45s, just kind of give a little extra support here on the edge. Just since, you know, you never know what people are gonna put on the shelf. I want them to know that it'll hold on some weight to it. So let's go cut some little 45s, and then we're gonna measure out and we're gonna get these installed, which I love the way these look. I wish they had more. I would have bought more of them. So these are the only ones they had. So yeah, let's get that. Let's get these 45s cut and get this thing finished up. All right, here we are all finished up. I really love the way those cast iron hooks look on there. I think it kind of really gives it that kind of vintage farm look. I also do really like that I didn't actually cut all these down to be the same depth. I think having that kind of gives a little 2.5 inch, kind of 2.5D character, I guess is what they call it. It kind of gives it a little bit more character. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I'll do what I can to answer them for you. If you'd like to have something like this made, please feel free to reach out in the comment section or by email, which I'll put in a link in the description. Well, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you really enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button so you can join me for all my other projects, all my other builds. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around.